I'm outside because I was finishing up a recording, but I'm outside. I'm gonna keep the camera on for a little bit. I probably should have went and got my stand, but we're just gonna work with what we have now. Because I wanted to be outside to soak up some sun. So we're gonna talk about how I finally got over, what I was going through with people talking about me and talking ill about me. I guess just running their mouth. It took me almost a week. I'm not proud of it, but it did. I'm turning off my camera so I can put the phone in my pocket and speak freely because I'm really about to be honest. So I was really hurt. It took me about a week to fully get over this. It took me a week, two books, um, prayers, but a whole week of meditation excessively just to get to the bottom of it and um, a playlist on here that I can make public so you can read the books too. The books was basically about how to master your emotions and the art of a positive mindset. And I was wondering to myself, why was this bothering me so much? Why was I so upset of what's being said about me if it's not true? Now, there's a popular saying that says, um, you know, if you're bothered by what somebody says, or if you're that bothered by it, that's true. And I beg to differ. It's not always true. There's some truth to it, but it's to some extent. Now, the accusations that I was being faced was that Jamaicans are scammers. I'm a user, and just not positive thoughts that I was expecting from this individual. Now, what I've come to realize that everybody everybody is what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody is obligated to their own opinion. Everybody can make their own say, and everybody has their own viewpoint of stuff. Who am I to just dictate what I want you to say, when I want you to say it, and how I want to see you to say it? Because I wouldn't want nobody to do that. It's for me. So that's how you feel, but that's not how I feel. Now, they're really bad. Like, I hold myself at a certain standard and I don't take part in certain things because I want to be a person of good morals and good standing. And I think, well, not I think, I know. I know that because I hold myself at such high standard and I try my best to live by a certain way, that when somebody called me out for doing that, it triggered me. It's like you trigger exposed. Like the one thing I'm running from the most, you highlighted it. Now, I was mad. I was furious. I was upset. I was like, how could you? How dare you? But after thinking about it now, you did me a favor, Jessica. You did me a good one. Now, are we gonna be buddy buddy? No, because I don't want to be surrounded by people who only speak negatively and doesn't have anything positive to say about the situation. Do I hate you? No, I don't hate you, but there's nothing to talk about. You just show me who you are, and I'll hold you at that standard, at that standpoint. Now, what I'm thankful for is you showed me what I was afraid of. You made me face the fear, so I kind of got over it now, and I'm no longer fearful of it. You tested my integrity. You tested me as a person, like how basically how low can you go? Are you going to go down that road? Are you going to waste all the healing you've done thus far? Or are you going to take the higher road and just, whatever, brush it off. It was a little bit of a two. I didn't go low, like belt low. I kind of just like whatever and prayed about it. I don't know which road that is. I guess the road in the middle because I was upset and I did, lash out, but not necessarily to the person, just basically to myself. And I did end up taking it out on Johnny. But I have apologized to Johnny now. But I've apologized, but I didn't like, I am so sorry. I will never do this again. I basically showed my viewpoint and said why I feel a certain way, or this is why I'm doing this. And I'm sorry you got caught in a crossfire, but I mean, you're kind of the middleman. And I'm trying not to put it on you, but you're a constant reminder of everything that happened. So, how I released it, I went deep into myself and figure out why it was triggering me, like I mentioned before. And I think that's shadow work. You probably don't shadow work. I don't like the term because it's just finding out what your weaknesses are and how you're gonna combat them. Okay, so now I found out what my weaknesses are and how much it bothered me. Now, the way I was going to combat this is to find a way how to remind myself that who I am is who I am, and I shouldn't make other people's opinions hurt me that much. So I had to get down and really go back to when I thought of the first time I was being questioned or my integrity was being questioned. And the truth is, I don't like being questioned and I don't like being made a bad person because when I was younger, I didn't really have a chance to stand up for myself and I would just take the blame for everything. And I think became, I guess now I'm at the stage where I retaliate. As in, as soon as you say something bad about me, I feel like I need to come for your throat. I feel like I need to defend myself by all means because I owe it to myself. Yes, I owe it to myself to some extent to defend myself, but you can't defend yourself from everything. Let's just be honest. If you know it's not the truth, it's not the truth. Hey, you can't go around and beat everybody up for everything you want to say or everything somebody say about you. So I realized where I was so hurt about it. Now, as far as it goes for her and what she said, I'm not really sure why she said it. I'm not trying to find out why she said it. Well, I do know that she had past experiences with people that's Jamaican that did scam or whatever her people out of money. And that's her. You know, I can't prove to you that all Jamaicans aren't like that because that's too big. I'm not about to go and take up a flag and be like, this is what we're not. This is what we're not. Because there's different people in every race, in every country. You have good and you have bad. Now, if you just want to believe that we're all bad, well, Miss Ma'am, believe what you want to believe. I don't have the willpower to fight with you. I am not going to fight with you. And I'm not going to try to convince you that we're not all bad. It's to the point where I'm just letting it go, and hopefully you will reach to a point in your life where you give people the chance to, you know, learn somebody for who they are and not judge them based on what they say. Because I don't like cops. I don't like cops. That's a whole different story. But not everybody's bad. There's good and bad in everything. And what you focus on is what you get. And I think it's what you put in, like your input or your intake on the media has a big role in everything too. Because I was watching so much gossip stuff on TV and so much people bashing other people. And before you knew it, it was right there in my life. And I'm like, I don't like that. And before, I'm not going to say I'll never gossip again because I'm human, we talk. But now it had made me think about how much you talking about somebody else, how bad it can affect that person because I've been in their shoe. So now I am less likely to go talk about somebody else because they're doing something. I'm going to judge them because of, hey, you're doing that, so I think you're a hole. I am less likely to do that now because I know how it feels. So, all in all, sometimes when people trigger us to an extent where we're that angry, it's something that we need to look on inside of us. And as much as it hurts to say, sometimes we should say thank you for the people that come up against us because they show us our strength. They show us how strong we are and how much we can overcome stuff. And the next time this come around, I'll know how to better handle it. So that's how I released it. I know that was a bunch of mumbo jumbo rambling, but I hope you got what I was saying. And next, let's move on to the next chapter. Let's move on to the next step, right? Because we're over this. So, in other words, that's the life for today. That's my podcast for today. I'm officially going to make a real podcast and have it streamed, but as for now, I just want to get my thoughts out while I have the chance to. And yes, that's it. I'll talk to you guys next week. That's what happened in my life this week.